Good morning, Twitch.tv. Good morning to YouTube as well. And, of course, good morning, mini Motorways. Let's go to Rio de Janeiro for today's daily challenge. None of our destinations will become circles, which is good, but also we will receive half the number of road tiles each and every week, which is bad. It's not good. It's not what you want. It's suboptimal. But it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll all be fine. Let's draw this going off here. That may or may not make more sense than what I had previously drawn. Actually, it doesn't, because we want all of these houses pointing in the direction they're going, so we'll just go back this way, I guess. All right. Oh, God. It is Wednesday, comma, my dudes. We have this greenhouse right here. Draw this going over that away. Swing back down to here. That's all well and good. Would it be better to go down? I think it would actually be better to go down. Let's go down instead. Let's chop all of this road and swing downward we like. So yeah, that is shorter. That's definitely a shorter trip to go down south as opposed to up and around through the north. So we'll do it that way. Oh, goodness. Oh, big stretch. Oh, God. Oh, man. All right. Let's take a couple traffic lights. Mostly so that we have them and we're not tempted to take them again for the rest of the run. My ear. I'm not supposed to get Simpsons references in it. Oh, God. Okay. So, what is the big deal of the day? Well, the big deal of the day is Jimmy Kimmel returning to television, obviously. I, like a whole bunch of people, like a whole bunch of fucking people, a distressingly large number of people. Hi. No, cat, I'm making a political joke. The cat has started meowing at me as I'm making a political joke. It's fine. I, like, a chadzillion people, started watching Jimmy Kimmel's monologue on YouTube last night. I got about as far as when he was crying and talking about how he has so many conservative friends before realizing, oh, right, this isn't for me. So, it wasn't for me, but, you know. I'm sure it was fine. People seem generally pleased to have him back. It is indeed bad for Jimmy fucking Kimmel to be under threat of government punishment for making a joke about a thing. I don't really care about the 15 road tiles here as opposed to 10. We'll take a roundabout instead. Extra 5 road tiles would be nice to have, but I'm willing to sacrifice that for the flexibility offered by getting a roundabout. How else will I murder myself? Like, how else will we sabotage this otherwise successful run if we can't construct the roundabout that will inevitably kill everything? Every once in a while, it's important to remind folks of what your running bits and, you know, well-worn acronyms stand for. Acronyms? Acronyms. That's not a word, but, you know. It's important to remind folks of the sources of your horrible running gags every now and then. Only every now and then, though. This yellow house has spawned in a truly terrible position because I can't, well, I suppose it's not the end of the world to staple it to this road here. Like, it might interfere with the flow of traffic going into this business, but only for a moment. And having these two roads connected in this manner doesn't actually hurt anything because, you know, these purples are never going to go further than here. I have a tunnel. I think a motorway sounds like a lovely acquisition at this point in time. So we'll go ahead and do that. I also think I'm going to go ahead and do this and get a second yellow going over here to this house. Oh, hi. Oh, you're not welcome. Oh, thank God. You found a better friend. I'm so glad you found a better friend. Here, have a second better friend. So these, 3, I feel fancy. So these 3 purple houses will now service this purple business, and given that we know for a fact that this will never turn into a circle, I suspect that these 3 purple houses will be fine, functionally forever. You say that, Goog, but it is worth mentioning that shit inevitably falls apart, so something's gotta give at some point. And in this case, the thing that's gotta give is, I don't know, man. let's draw this road here, get these 2 yellows going down that way. And then we'll pop motorway number 1 to have these 2 houses service this yellow business. I don't necessarily love that, but I do think it's decent. I could have, tunneled these yellows way the hell up here. That might have actually been better. I could have also drawn a ridiculous long road here, and I would have, roundabouted here, maybe? Don't necessarily love or hate that. Being only in possession of 17 road tiles, my inclination is to say no. Let's not do that. Especially given that we have this red business with which to deal. You shall now this way, which is nice. We have to get up and over around here because I don't want to use a tunnel for this one silly tile right there. So, bing and boom. So yeah, it's controversial statement time here at twitch.tv/the_Goog. Set your watches. It is once again controversial statement time. It is bad for the commissioner and chairperson of the Federal Communications Commission to not so vaguely threaten the broadcast license of a television network because he personally found a comedian's joke to be in poor taste. This has been controversial statement time here at twitch.tv/the_Goog. It is also bad, incidentally, for the giant corporately owned cartel, for the giant corporate cartel that owns like a quarter of the broadcast TV stations in the country to decide on its own that even if the government won't do it, it will simply refuse to air the comedy stylings of a late night television program because it is in that corporation's better interests to pretend as though it has feelings and found a joke that comedian made in poor taste. But, Sinclair Broadcasting Group being one of the 15 or so most evil entities in the country is only news if you have not been paying attention. Sinclair is bad. Nexstar is also bad, but, lots of things are bad, as it turns out. Speaking of things that are bad, we've got this light blue business over here, and these light blue dudes over here, and nary a road between them. Let's take motorway we'll take a motorway. I was going to call it motorway number 5. That's incorrect. I was saying that because it came with 5 road tiles, which I suppose it does, but it also, more importantly, comes with the presence of a motorway. So we'll draw motorway number 2 right down to here. These 4 light blues will motorway themselves over here. In, the absolute fullness of time, I would like to replace this with a road, but, I have that much road right now. I have that much road, and the distance is, 4 or 5 that muches. So, it's not going to be anytime soon. Speaking of things that won't be anytime soon, you know what? Let's just chop this, get myself a few more road tiles back. I think we might be in efficientation mode for a second or two. I gotta find a way to get purples over to here, and I think the way we're gonna do that, unfortunately, is to just kind of staple some. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that. So we'll do that, and we'll do that. And now these 2 purples. Why? Okay, so there's a green business here now. That's atrocious. I don't really have a solution for that. Yeah, I'm a good 1, 2, 3 road tiles shy of I'm 3 road tiles shy of a solution here, which sounds like an insult in a Looney Tune, the Foghorn Leghorn turns to the camera after being slightly insulted by the tiny little chicken hawk and says, "Well, that boy, he's 3 road tiles short of a solution." I say, it's a terrible Foghorn Leghorn. Don't trust that as a representative impersonation of Foghorn Leghorn. But also, I was just about to say the word impersonation, which isn't a word. So. All right. Sudden crisis mode, and by sudden I mean very slow developing, clearly foreseen, and not dealt with, much like the New York Mets starting pitching problems. What are we going to do about this? Nothing at the moment, because it's already fucked, much like the New York Mets starting pitching problems. Oh boy. Well, hold on. I've managed to steal enough road to get this house into here. That is not going to stem this for long, but it doesn't have to stem it for long. It just has to keep it from ultra dying. Give me another motorway. Okay. All right. Now, having been possessed of a motorway, I can wait for it. I have an idea. All right. I'm going to steal back some road. By stealing back some road here, I can point these two purples down here. Wait. So I steal back this road. All right, the thing I want to do in the long run is have these two motorway to this. But in order to not effing die, I also need to do this. Just for like a moment or 6. We need a moment or 6 wherein this house motorways itself over this way and this road doesn't die. Okay. All right. No, this business is still mad about stuff. Fair. Understandable. Here, have another red house coming up here. I think we might be fucked. I think I might need to revisit my plan, actually. I think my plan was stupid. I think that's the problem. I think that's the source of all my ills and woes and such, is that my plan was stupid. So if we do this, right, and also this, now we have greens and this and that, and okay. All right. And this can go over here. So that's now a third green going here. I will theoretically be able to motorway these greens over to here once this stops being dead. Can you please stop being dead? All right. This has now sufficiently stopped being dead. So we're going to not kill it, but we are going to restructure it. We had to wiggle it around a little bit, but having thusly wiggled it, we can now have these 3 greens motorway themselves down to here. These 2 greens, oh boy. These 2 greens go here. This green takes it upon itself to salvage and save this business. I don't love that, but we'll see how it works. All right, give me this tunnel back. As soon as this car gets through this tunnel, I'll have that tunnel back. Great. Now that I have that tunnel back, we redraw this going this way. Okay. I not so recently, like several weeks ago at this point, got a new microphone, and that resulted in a whole new mic structure setup type thing. And ever since then, I have like 9 different volume knobs that I can adjust whenever anything is bad or low or something. So I have to constantly be looking over at the OBS levels to be like, is the music low in my headphones because it's too low? Or because its volume in the Wavelink app is too low? Or because its volume at the microphone headphone knob adjustment is too low? Or because the mix I'm sending to my headphones is improper? Or because my headphones are too low? This is all fine. This is all fine and good. Let's take a tunnel. Speaking of things that are both fine and good, we have this yellow business over here and this red business over here. Now, I can, in fact, deal with some of these. Like, I do have 24 road tiles, which means I can just do this. So here I have 2 reds going up here and servicing this red business, and that's actually fine. However, there's also other matters, such as this garbage. All right, I have an idea. First of all, you're going to go that way. You're going to come this way. This is just going to be a tight corner for the sake of road efficiency. I'm sorry. This tunnel here is going to get redrawn. I'm going to redraw this tunnel. And as part of that, we're going to defraginate. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. We're going to take this road. We're going to pop it right over to here. And from here, you're going to have a choice. You're going to come here and service either this or this. I don't care which. Everybody go. Now, these two yellow businesses are going to be very mad at me for a moment, and they deserve to be. They are in a bad position, but I'm going to fix it. Hey, I have a question. I have one traffic light. Oh, right. I put a traffic light over here. This is a perfectly cromulent traffic light. Good job, Goog. Let's construct another one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to straight shot this tunnel up this way. I'm also going to bear out here and have a second perfectly cromulent traffic light right here. So now the four yellows that are directly adjacent to these two businesses will in fact be going up here for some reason to take care of these two. And these four yellows, which are way the fuck over yonder through a big giant rock or something, will be the ones that support these two businesses. That seems simple and logical. I have no problem with this. I actually have several problems with it, but you know, details. Speaking of details, hi. You exist, huh? I don't remember supporting that. That didn't earn my vote. Are you sure about this? Are we doing the whole you exist thing? Really? For you? You want to exist? God. Every color of business wants to exist now. It's like, oh, look at me. I'm a blue business. I want to be real. Fuck you. You dick. All right. Now that this yellow house exists, we can reposition motorway number 1, murder kill this entire road, and once these tiles are back in our possession, we can allocate them in this manner. And yes, I will be servicing this yellow business before this blue business, even though this blue business existed first. That's gonna go poorly for me. Good morning, Luke Ainsworth. Once again, we find ourselves in crisis mode because I have underappreciated the time and distance it will take for a business to go kerfucky. Well, shit. Let's staple this yellow house to this yellow business. That'll solve that problem for at least a minute. We kind of got to get blues over to here. I don't think they can survive the day. Yeah, because it's not just survive until Monday morning. It's survive until Monday morning, hopefully get the solution to the problem, implement the solution, and then give the solution time to work. And that last part, like, even if Monday morning comes around and I get a motorway, these two houses are not sending their cars over to this business in time to save this business. So, we need to save this business now. And by now, I mean once this green business sorts its shit out and we get motorway number 3 in place, which is not actually going to be that much less time, is it? It is going to be the same amount of time. Awesome. Awesome. Great job. Okay. So I made that whole big impassioned speech about needing to make immediate implementable solutions, and then I didn't do that. So, yeah. So now we have these 3 light blue houses sending all of their cars over here to try to save this business, and that may or may not actually work. And meanwhile, we also have this. These 3 greens coming over here, servicing that. That, again, may or may not be fine. Okay. I've got these 2 reds here. These 2 red businesses seem to be generally okay, but seeing as I'm temporarily flush with road tiles, I might as well toss this red house into this nightmare, have it so that 5 houses are now responsible for 2 businesses. That seems, 25% better than having 4 houses responsible for 2 businesses. All right, light blue house guy, are you actually okay? You seemed like you might have been, but then you're not. Oh, boy. Oh, I don't think this house is the answer. I think this car right here. Like, here's the question, friends. Can this car right here get to this business before this fills up? I don't think the answer is yes. I think the answer to that question is no, but we'll see. It's going to be real close. Oh, it's so close. He got there. It got there. It got there. And now a second wave. Oh. Oh, don't ever cut it that close again, Goog. But also it worked. Okay. Now, more problems. That's exactly what we needed in our life. More problems. We now have this red business with which to deal, which is a problem because all of the reds in the world are down here. Like this lower southwest corner of the world may as well be Cincinnati for all the reds that are in it. Alternately, it may as well be Moscow for all of the... No? Okay. It's a baseball and then communism joke. A baseball and then communism joke is the title of the episode. Or perhaps one of the titles of the episode, because YouTube is pushing A/B testing on me. Which, listen, YouTube, I'm sure that you believe your A/B testing is useful and helpful to creators and such. I think it's funny that you think my viewership is large enough to escape the vagaries of a small sample size. Like, you know... Let's be plain and honest with ourselves here for a moment. A well-received episode of Good Morning Mini Motorways shall see viewership in the triple digits. So, I think there may be sampling issues. Anyway, so now we've got this red business over here. It's just ultra fucked. I do have, I've got houses. The issue is not directly dude put. The issue is directional. It's dude directionality, I guess. I don't know. All right. If I were the king of the forest, which I'm not, I would make a great many changes in the aforementioned forest. This perhaps is why I am not the king. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to kill this connection. We're going to point this red house onto this road. We're going to have this red house come here. We're going to do this. So now these three red houses are all on this green road, right? All of these right here shall then go voop and voop, such that this is actually one continuous road that then meanders its way up to here. From here, we're going to have... Eventually, I want another set of traffic lights to do a third PCTL, but we don't have that right now. So we're just going to have that come to here and then extend out this way and then go up there. And now, theoretically, all of these reds, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 reds, can support this 1, 2, 3 red businesses. The problem is, this red business is presently dying, which means that every available car is going to get run in its direction. And then by the time this red business is caught up, one or the other or both of these two reds will be dying. And then all of the available cars will be sent in their directions. And bad things shall most likely happen and befall us all. But, that was true no matter what. So, also, this green business over here is a little bit mad. So we'll just... make this exist, this little connection right here. That's fine. This blue guy exists, which I don't love, honestly. If I had to, strap me up with some sodium pentothal or whatever and tell the God's honest truth about shit, I don't love that this blue business exists. I think it's a problem. I don't think I'm going to be able to deal with it, but, we're going to try. We're going to make the best of a bad situation. This blue business is fine. This blue business I'm totally cool with because I have all of these blues over here. But, it gestures vaguely at everything. All right, I know I just expressed a desire for a whole bunch of road, but for a traffic light rather. But actually, I do have a roundabout. Hold on. Give me this traffic light. I'm gonna implement a crazy ridiculous red fix as an excuse not to think about these blues for a minute, because I don't know what I'm doing with these blues and probably doing nothing. It's probably just dead. So we're not gonna think about that for a minute. Instead, we're gonna solve this red problem. And the way we're gonna solve this red problem is, as you may have suspected, with a roundabout. So everybody comes up here, and we have a northeast spur goes up there to that business. We have a due north spur goes up there to that business. We have a southwest spur. We have a southwest spur. Goes over there to that business. Now, our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 red houses all enter this roundabout from, let's just say, the southeast spur, because that's funny. And then they split themselves up accordingly, and away they go, and everybody's happy. Cool. Now, more problems. Specifically, well, actually, hold on. I have a problem. I've got motorways. I could motor route. All right, hear me out here. First of all, let's get rid of all of these. Secondly, let's do that. Thirdly, let's pull this, at least temporarily. All right, motorway number 3. I think I need you to reposition yourself. Come down this way. You 3 shall motorway yourselves over here. This is another situation where if I had all the road in the world, this would be a simple bridge, but I don't, so it's not. Underrated problem, by the way, this purple business. This purple business, 1 house, no friends. So, problem. Solution. Hold on. Dude. And there. So, now I have fewer road tiles, but details. So, this can come over this way, chop murder that, toss these together. Here's a whole bunch of blues. All of these blues come together via motorway number 2 over to here. And they either go into this or they go up to that. Either way, these 2 are happy. Meanwhile, down here, these 1, 2, 3 blues take motorway number 1, 2, 3 into this business. This motorway even exists now, which is nice. I've put a second purple house into this business, meaning that this business is fine. Are we actually just kind of okay for a second? I think we might actually just be kind of okay for a second. Whew. All right, that was a short second because this green guy got mad at me, but, you know, details. All right. Hi there, yellow friends. You're okay. I don't mind you. You can go up there, and you can be chopped this way, and you will go in there, and let's cut that corner. And while that does look ugly, it does also allow me to get a second yellow house in, so you're going to be okay. Okay, cool. All right. Everything is A-okay for the moment. Jesus. Okay. With my last 2 road tiles, I'll put this greenhouse into this green business. That'll be okay. I do have a few reds spawning down here that I could theoretically run onto this staple road. Hi there, purple friendo. Why do you exist? Okay, give me a tunnel. You're a helpful red. I like that you exist. This red is also good. It can be tossed onto this road going that way, supporting these 3 businesses. Let's staple these. Yep, these 1, 2, 3 red houses onto the ridiculous nonsense road. Look at this ridiculous nonsense road, by the way. This is 6, 7, 8, 9, 13 red houses snaking their way through, 14 red houses snaking their way through a green neighborhood on into a roundabout to go in any of 3 directions. Sure, that's fine. Also, oh, by the way, these greens over here. How precisely is one supposed to say fix that? I kind of don't know how one's supposed to, you know, fix that. Well, no. Hold on. Everybody go. Also, all the reds in the world are mad, so this may be a moot point, actually. It may not matter that we suddenly can't think of any way to solve this problem. This is fine. I just rearranged motorway number 3. It'll be okay. This, however, is a nightmare crisis. I don't do well with nightmare crises. Friends, I have no idea. how exactly is one supposed to deliver green trips up to... You know, I'm going to play the game that these reds are going to die before I have to worry about that green. I'm just going to not do it. I'm not going to touch it because the reds died first, and I never had to solve that problem because something else died first. America! Yep. Top 3% in the world with my daily challenge score of 2024, and yet, we find ourselves dropping Samurai Slams in the chat because Samurai Sam did 40 dudes better. Hold on. Probably could have phrased that differently. Oh well. Let us see what today's Wordle shall be. Perhaps the Wordle of the day is awful. It is not, in fact, awful, but we did find an L and a U. It could be louse. There's absolutely no reason it could be louse other than the recently discovered fact that it is, in fact, not louse. A shame. But now we know more things, such as the fact that the U is the third letter, and L is neither first nor fifth. That's unfortunate. It could be clurb. Into clurb, we all fam. Yeah? No? Alright, fine. It could be cluffed. The boy Chun Wonder. No, there's no F. Oh, let's see here. It could be... I'm kind of stuck on that second letter L thing. It could be bluff. No, it can't be bluff. There's no F. It could be blurg. General exclamation of frustration. No? Okay, fine. It could be some other thing, such as... No, it can't be guilt, because guilt is has the second letter U, so that's incorrect. It could be chult. Not entirely sure what chult is, but, well, it's not a word, so there you go. It could be time to use 5 letters that I haven't used and try to make a word out of them, such as dingy. It's not dingy, but these are 5 letters I haven't used. There's an N in this word. That's something. It could be plunk. Could absolutely be plunk. There's nothing saying it's not plunk other than, once again, the recently discovered knowledge that it's not plunk. Okay. It could be blunt. Could have a large flat metal thing just making a blunt impact on someone. It is, in fact, former New England Patriots running back LeGarrette Blunt, except he spelled his name with an O. And depending on who you listen to pronounced it, may or may not have been pronounced Blount, but I think it was Blunt. Most of the time I heard anyone refer to Mr. Blunt, it was as Blunt. Anyway, here is today's time guesser. It occurs to me that my oversized Wordle window is, in fact, so oversized that the time guessing is inappropriately large. So, let us, ever so slightly, adjust this window in this manner. Hey, hey. And now we're properly sized. Hi there, folks. All right, so y'all are doing an election, it seems. Polling station cereals kit box or something. Materials kit box. That makes sense. All right. What does your bag say? Your bag says Liquor City. Okay. Well, listen, it's important that you're properly lubricated before you count your ballots. All right. I wish I could tell. Let's see. What does this say? Malawi Electoral Commission. Okay, so that's in Malawi, which is certainly somewhere. And this is the 2025? Oh. Apparently they just had elections in Malawi. Good for you, Malawi. Hey, question. Well, let's begin by drawing a circle that I'm reasonably certain encompasses Malawi. Good. Good. We have a starting point.
Hear ye, hear ye.
It's important to
Let
have that.
the record show that this viewer was here first.
I just got remarkably lucky and happened to zoom in on the part of Africa that contains Malawi and then notice the presence of Malawi. So I'm very proud of myself. Hello, Sam. Good morning, Samurai Sam.
All around the mulberry bush, the Goog built a roundabout. It soon became an octo road. Pop goes the Goog.
I love these little jingles and nursery rhymes and such. This one I feel compelled to sing. All around the mulberry bush, the Goog built a roundabout. It soon became an octo road. Pop goes the Goog. Thank you, Sam. Good God, 52 months, 4 1/3 years in the Goog troop for Samurai Sam. See, the problem with Malawi is there's not one dot on the map that's bigger than all the other dots. There's like 3 or 4 dots of equal size. So, like, we could be in Blantyre, and we could be in Lilongwe, and we could be in Mazuzu, and I don't know which is which. So, let's just go center of the country, cower it out, and go to Lilongwe. We are in Lilongwe, Malawi, obviously, in 2025. We were not. We were in near Zomba. Oh, well. I still got the year dead on right because I found the ballot. Next. Hi there, presidential motorcade. Possibly not American presidential, but, you know. Well, we have an American flag with the fancy gold "Here's the President" trim. Also, if one pays close attention, one might discover that here's the fucking President of the United fucking States. Hi, Dick. So yeah, that's Dick. He was president at the time. And this is... I want to say Spain, but I don't think Spain has this shit on their flag. Spain, have you always had that shit on your flag? Like, these up here look very much like Spanish flags. Maybe they're like different flags. It could be that they're different flags. Okay. All right. So we've got the ESL Levado here. Interesting. Now, the question is this Dick on a fancy paradey trip to Spain, or is this Spanish dictator man? Because I believe the 1970s it was all Spanish dictator times, right? There was like civil war happening in Spain, as I vaguely recall from the history classes I wasn't really taught. The 70s were not great. There's a sign below the car. Well, there's the front license plate cover thing. I don't know if that's what you mean. Sign below the car, eh? Yeah. This does indicate that this would be a Spanish thing. So this is probably Dick on a trip to Spain, as opposed to Spanish guy on a trip to Dick. Okay. So our President Dick here is in probably Madrid, I would gather, what with it being the capital of Spain and all of that. So, man, this is an awful lot of stuff. But, you know, the Spanish had an awful lot of stuff in the 1970s, didn't they? They also have their fancy white cloaked dudes. Yeah, okay. Wait, what does this sign say? This sign appears to say no guns, which, I mean, listen, there's a large, it's a good sign. It also could say no Florida, just based on the shape of it. It probably means like no left turn, but it kind of says no Florida, which, okay, all right. No Florida is one of the other titles of the episode, I guess. You know, they call it A/B testing, but I think they let you do up to 3 titles of the episode, so that's nice. Oh, God. I'm going to engage with it just on the hope that YouTube rewards me by pushing it into people's algorithms. Hooray, deceptive practices. All right, so the Acolyte Protection Agency is carefully watching over this parade, which is nice. I don't know if you all heard that, so I'm just going to hit the button again. Glorious. All right, it worked the second time. Oh, God. My drops are weird. Ow. My foot itches. My life is hard and full of pain. All right, so We're in Spain. Specifically, we're in Madrid. Doot, 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 zoomy, doot, doot, doot. Doot. There. So we're in Madrid, Spain. And let's see here. If Nixon's the president, let's work backwards from Reagan. Reagan was elected in 1980. He replaced Carter, who was elected in 76, to replace Ford, who took over as president after Nixon resigned, Nixon having been re-elected in 72. Which means that if Nixon's the president, this takes place between 1969 and May 1974. I think Nixon was re-elected. He was re-inaugurated. I think he resigned in 73, but I could be wrong about that. My point is, we're kind of just sort of splitting the difference, throwing a dart at the presidency of Richard Milhous Nixon, and we're going to say that this is 1972. It was, in fact, 1970. I was broadly correct. Good job, Goog. All right. This gentleman here has a very unfortunate, or perhaps just in fashion at the time, mustache. We're going to go with in fashion at the time, and therefore put a hard upper bound on the timing of this photo. Is it bad that this guy's mustache was the very first thing I noticed? Because this guy's mustache was the very first thing I noticed. All right. We've got, French or perhaps Belgian flag. The reason I know that this could also be a Belgian flag is because of the Nicolas Cage movie Art of War? God of War? I don't know. There's a movie where Nicolas Cage plays an arms dealer, and there's one scene in this movie where he has to sketchily and shadily pretend that his boat is a different boat than the boat that it is. So he sends a guy over the side to paint the thing and rename it the Kono, and also he's trying to figure out what kind of registration they have, and it turns out that it's Dutch. Did I say Belgian? I meant Dutch. It turns out that the Kono, which this boat is pretending to be, is a Dutch boat. So they got to find a Dutch flag to fly, but they don't have a Dutch flag. Fortunately, one of Nicolas Cage's stooges realizes, hey, if I take this French flag and I just herk it 90 degrees, it's a Dutch flag. I'm so smart. So anyway, that's how I know that this flag here is either French or Dutch. Oh, God. All right. That doesn't narrow it down too much more than that, but, you know, we got some verticality going here. I'm inclined to think French because this looks like, yeah, this is, wait, hold on. No. Because the French flag has vertical, vertical, vertical. The Dutch flag has horizontal, horizontal, horizontal. So this is probably Dutch. See, who needs Sunflare Space to tell you when you're in Amsterdam? You could just infer it from flags and Nicolas Cage movies. Flags and Nicolas Cage movies is the third and hopefully final title of the episode. Okay. Where are we going with this? Oh, right. We've got to figure out why the hell we're here, what's going on, that sort of thing. All right, so this appears to be a big giant memorial service, probably for, let's just say the end of World War I. Yeah, this seems basically to be like a holy shit, World War I ended. That was real fucking bad. Let's not do it again in 28 years, guys. Then they did it again in like 26 years or so. Stupid post-World War I society not properly addressing its ills. Not like all those other post-Giant War societies who all properly addressed their ills. All right. So what did we decide? Oh, right. Amsterdam 1919. Sure. Absolutely. I see no problem with this. It's going to be Paris 1920, but we'll pretend that it's Amsterdam 1919. It was, in fact, Yugoslavia. Okay, so I was just astoundingly wrong. Okay. All right, fine. Hi there. All right, so this is the new Emirates Islamic. Gotcha. Flags are hard in black and white. That's true. That's very true. All right. So we got some Arabic signage, and this says Emirates. So we're probably in, say, the United Arab Emirates, and that would mean that we're probably in the UAE. Although, good God, they built a hockey rink in the UAE. That doesn't sound right. On the other hand, sports washing. Let's see here. Yeah, we do appear to have a fair whack, a number of... Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right, so this kind of stupid, ridiculous bullshit nonsense is the kind of stupid, ridiculous bullshit nonsense that they would probably do in Dubai. Hooray. Let's narrow down the when of this. I don't know, man. It seems fairly modern, but we already had one 2025. So... Yeah, I don't feel comfortable going any less recent than 2022. So let's say 2022. Do I have any reason not to? I'm trying to look at the advertisements, see if maybe I can get lucky off of a sign, but that doesn't appear to be the case. So, Pinky Diamonds by Tissot for Valentine's Day, eh? Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. So we're in Dubai in 2022. Now, I think the UAE... Oh, wait. It's a dot on the map. Dubai is such a big city that it's just a dot on the map from that distance. Fine. All right. So we'll pop that right there. We'll say 2022, and we're actually going to move our dot over here to this ridiculous thing, and away we go. I was more correct when I was further north, and it was 2014, but again, broadly directionally correct. We take those. Next and last. All right, so we are outside the arena of the Nashville Predators. Wait, Nashville Predators? Memphis Predators? Shit. Nashville Predators. Hold on. Nashville Predators. Cool. Also, we have a lower bound. I think the Predators were founded or moved there in 1998. Okay. So this is when the Predators are playing the Detroit Red Wings in a playoff series of some sort. I don't know when that happened. So, you're wearing Hornqvist's jersey. I don't remember a hockey player named Hornqvist, so that doesn't actually help. Let's see here. If I was a person who recognized arena names, I could be able to tell you the history of the building that is labeled in this photo as the... oh, good God, Sam, no. An NHL Immaculate Grid. I'm fairly certain. I could probably name 9 guys who have played for the Boston Bruins. I could probably name 9 guys who have played for the Boston Bruins. It's a little trickier if I have to do first and last names, but we're going to go for it right now. I now present 9 guys who have played for the Boston Bruins. Ray Bourque, Milan Lucic, Tim Thomas. He was a goalie. Fuck. Oh, God. Now I've put pressure on myself. I do know more than this. Cam Neely, Bobby Orr. Oh, right. Old hockey existed. There you go. Cam Neely and Bobby Orr. I'm more than halfway there. Shit. I can think of last names, but I specifically said first and last. Zdeno. I couldn't remember Chara's first name. Zdeno Chara. I specifically said 9 guys who have played for the Boston Bruins, Sam. It's no fun if I just say, Wayne Gretzky, Sidney Crosby, Sergei Fedorov all day. Ooh, actually, wait, hold on. Jaromir Jagr did play for the Bruins for a minute. Jaromir Jagr! That's 7! I forgot that Jaromir Jagr played for the Bruins as part of his holy shit, I'm 1,000 years old, but people keep signing me to play hockey tour. Jaromir Jagr played for the Bruins for a minute. Okay. I'm at 7. God damn. PK Subban? Didn't PK Subban play for the Bruins? I think PK Subban played for the Bruins. That sounds right. And I remember that Tim Thomas split time in net with another guy who was also good. And I want to say Steven Soderbergh, but that's wrong. That's a movie director. Who was the goalie they had for a very long time, including when they had Tim Thomas? I think I was just trying to name that guy, and I came up with Steven Soderbergh, which is wrong. Oh, no. I said Milan Lucic. Butch Hobson was the Red Sox manager. That doesn't help. Oh, no. I can do it. I can name one more dude who has ever played hockey for the Boston Bruins. I can definitely do that. It's not going to make for good radio, though. This is a problem. Joe Thornton. Oh, thank God. Oh, I had it, and then I lost it, and then I got it back. Joe Thornton was like a super highly touted prospect who came up with the Bruins and did kind of okay for a few years, and then they traded him, and then he turned out to be one, great, and two, played forever. Like, Joe Thornton had a great career and also played for like 27 years. Or something stupid like that. I think Joe Thornton might still be playing hockey. Joe Thornton's beard is now long enough that it reaches the ice and he skates over it, which is fine because his skate blades are sharp and he can, trim his beard. That's how he trims his beard. But if you told me that Joe Thornton was still playing hockey, I would believe you. Anyway, having successfully named 9 guys who played for the Boston Bruins, We are in the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee in 2010. I don't know, man. Let's find Nashville, Tennessee. That's Knoxville. That's Memphis. There's Nashville. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Make my heart go boom, boom, boom. Where is my supernova girl? All right. I want to find this arena. We got to find this arena. That might be a problem, actually. But, All right, there's Watkins Park, there's the Tennessee State Museum, there's a Walgreens. I found a Walgreens. I found a picnic shelter and a bar called Skinny Dennis. All right, twitch.tv/the_Goog meetup at the Skinny Davis Bar, Nashville, Tennessee, this coming Friday night. Take pictures, tell me how it was. Where is this fucking hockey arena? See, the problem with the hockey arena is it's not terribly large, particularly in I found it. Particularly in Nashville, Tennessee. Now, if I was really smart and good and thinking about stuff, I would try to figure out like the exact angle of the photo and all of that, but fuck that. So we're right there in, what did I say, 2010? Yeah, sure, okay. 2012. Cool. 9,795 points on that one. 41,651 for the time guessing. Everyone go ahead and drop some GGs in the chat. We have achieved glorious victory, sort of. And now, let's see if I do any better with the Immaculate Grid than I did naming 9 guys who played for the Boston Bruins. We need Cubs, Guardians, Astros, Blue Jays, Dudes What won a Gold Glove, and Dudes What only played for one team. All right. A Houston Astro who has only to this point in his life played for the Houston Astros is Josie Altuve. He's quite good at baseball. A Toronto Blue Jay who has only played for the Toronto Blue Jays is Ernie Clement. Ernie Clement is a Blue Jay who's only been a Blue Jay. What? Oh. I just figured you were a Blue Jays minor leaguer who came up and achieved success with the Blue Jays. Oops. Well, I failed. The Mets did, in fact, have a sick comeback win last night. It was fun. I was not watching because I was streaming. I was streaming Dragon Age: the Veilguard. Had a good time. Turned off the stream. Googled Mets score, which is how I check in on the Mets most nights. I saw that it was 6-1 in like the 5th inning. I went, well, that's a shame. And I went to go sit on my couch and play Overwatch, and I sat on my couch and I turned on my PS5 again, and I turned on the television, and then I looked at the Mets-specific Discord server I was in, and people were going fucking berserk, and I looked again at Mets score, and it was 6-6. It happened very quickly. And then the Mets wound up winning because Francisco Alvarez hit a home run, and he's very good. He is not, however, a Toronto Blue Jay who also played for the Chicago Cubs. That is Kevin Kiermaier. I think Kevin Kiermaier wound up on the Cubs. He did not. Sad. That is Darwin Barney. Should have gone with that from the beginning. A Toronto Blue Jay who was also a Cleveland Guardian is, good lord, we use Roberto Alomar a lot on this immaculate grid, particularly for one that says that it tries to avoid absolute shitbags. A Cleveland Guardian who won him a Golden Glove is, hey, speaking of shitbags, Omar Vizquel. A Chicago Cub who won a Gold Glove is, for a frankly wonderful question, Chris Bryant, I think, won one, right? He was a good defensive third baseman. He did not. Interesting. Well, they ever give one to Sammy Sosa? Might have given one to Sammy Sosa. They never gave one to Sammy Sosa. Okay, fine. Well, the first guy I thought of was Ernie Banks, and then I was like, Turns out I shouldn't have been like, Anyway, this has been a terrible immaculate grid. Frankly atrocious. Poor performance by me. Fortunately, I shall have a chance to make up for it next week, because as you can see from the stream schedule, this is it for us for today. I shall be in New Jersey later this evening, and then tomorrow I shall be in New York. Hey, fun fact, which I just recently discovered, the United Nations General Assembly is in town. This week is literally the busiest week of traffic in New York City in the entire year. And I'm going to be in New York City tomorrow. And by New York, I do mean Manhattan. It's going to be fun. Thank you all so very much for being here. I hope to be back on Monday. We shall see what the schedule holds. But until I see you, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.